Captain Eleanor Chen stood at the viewport of the diplomatic shuttle, watching Earth shrink to a blue marble against the void. Decades of scientific breakthroughs had culminated in this moment. Humanity's first official contact with the Galactic Council. The weight of 4 billion hopes pressed against her shoulders. "Nervous, Captain?" Dr. Abrams asked, joining her at the viewport. "Wouldn't you be?" Eleanor adjusted her formal uniform. "We're about to meet 17 alien civilizations that have been managing interstellar affairs since before humans invented the wheel. The journey through faster-than-light space took 3 days. When they emerged, the Council Station appeared, a massive structure of interlocking rings surrounding an artificial star. The human delegation gasped collectively at the scale of it. "They certainly know how to make an impression," Eleanor murmured. The shuttle docked at an arrival bay where 3 council representatives waited. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin, a stocky quadruped with compound eyes, and a floating entity contained within a translucent sphere. Their translators rendered perfect English as they welcomed the humans aboard. The following days brought a whirlwind of introductions, presentations, and cultural exchanges. Eleanor found most species cautiously friendly, particularly the Talari, whose evolutionary path had remarkable parallels to Earth's. The delegation presented Earth's case for membership, technological achievements, cultural diversity, and eagerness to contribute to galactic knowledge. On the 7th day, they were summoned before the full council. The Grand Chamber humbled even the most confident humans. 17 raised platforms arranged in a perfect circle, each holding representatives of founding council races. The human delegation stood in the central floor, feeling small beneath the towering architecture and ancient symbols etched into walls that predated human civilization. The Grand Arbiter, an Alfiri with silver-blue skin and eyes that reflected starlight, spoke first. "The Council has reviewed Earth's petition for membership with great care. We acknowledge humanity's remarkable progress in a relatively short evolutionary timeframe." Eleanor felt a surge of hope. However, the Arbiter continued, "It is this very rapid development that concerns us. Your species has advanced from primitive flight to faster-than-light travel in less than 2 centuries, a pace unprecedented in our records. Additionally, your history reveals concerning patterns of conflict resolution through violence." Murmurs spread through the chamber as holographic displays showed images from human history, world wars, nuclear tests, environmental disasters. With unanimous consensus, the Council rejects Earth's petition for membership. The words hit Eleanor like physical blows. Earth is classified as a Category 3 civilization, technologically advanced, but evolutionarily unpredictable. You are permitted limited trade within designated systems, but forbidden from establishing colonies beyond your solar system. Monitoring satellites will be positioned to ensure compliance. Eleanor stepped forward. "With respect, Arbiter, this decision seems contrary to the Council's stated mission of fostering interstellar cooperation. Humanity has overcome its violent past." "Your objection is noted, Captain Chen," the Arbiter interrupted. "But our decision stands. Earth presents unacceptable risk factors. This matter is closed." 3 days later, the delegation's shuttle approached Earth. The ship's communications officer reported that Council vessels had already deployed monitoring satellites throughout the solar system. In the United Earth Government headquarters beneath Geneva, Eleanor delivered her report to the assembled representatives. Shock gave way to outrage, then to grim resignation. As the meeting ended, Eleanor remained at the display table. She activated the star map, highlighting regions beyond Council space. "Director Chen." An aide approached cautiously. "It's still Captain," Eleanor corrected, eyes fixed on the unexplored regions. "And I need to speak with Dr. Rivera in advanced propulsion immediately." "May I ask why?" Eleanor's finger traced paths between stars no human had visited. "Because the Council just showed us exactly what they fear, and if they won't let us join their alliance." She looked up, determination replacing defeat in her eyes. "Then perhaps it's time we build something better." 10 years passed with Earth presenting a carefully crafted image of reluctant compliance. Quarterly council inspections found a civilization seemingly focused on internal development. Expanded lunar facilities, thriving Martian colonies, and ambitious asteroid mining operations. What these inspections never detected was Project Diaspora. Deep within Ceres Station, converted from a former mining outpost, Dr. Marcus Rivera studied holographic equations floating in the air before him. The physics of conventional FTL travel created distinctive subspace ripples, precisely what the Council's satellites monitored. But after years of research, Marcus had discovered an alternative. "The final simulation is complete," his assistant announced. "Slip space entry creates no detectable distortion pattern." Marcus nodded, his eyes reflecting the glowing equations. He'd lost his family in the resource wars before Earth unified, and the Council's rejection had awoken something dormant in him, a determination that humanity would never again be vulnerable to outside control. "Prepare the test vessel," he ordered, "and inform Admiral Chen. She'll want to be present." The test ship Pathfinder measured barely 20 meters in length. Its revolutionary drive core occupied most of the interior, leaving minimal space for its two-person crew. From the observation deck, Admiral Eleanor Chen watched as the vessel positioned itself beyond Ceres. "You're certain the Council satellites won't detect this?" she asked. "Conventional FTL punches through space," Marcus explained. "Slip space slides between dimensional barriers. Different approach, different signature, no ripples for their sensors to detect." The Pathfinder shimmered momentarily, then vanished without the characteristic flash of FTL transition. 40 minutes later, it reappeared precisely on schedule. "It worked," the pilot reported over the comm. "We reached the Proxima Centauri coordinates and returned. No signs of detection." Eleanor exchanged a significant look with Marcus. After a decade of preparation, Diaspora could finally proceed. Within 6 months, automated construction ships had established the first outpost in the Ta Ceti system, 71 light-years from Earth. Named Nova Roma, the settlement began with 300 colonists, all vetted for absolute loyalty and specialized skills. 4 years later, 7 colonies operated beyond Council detection. Supply chains disguised as routine asteroid mining operations funneled resources to hidden construction facilities. A steady stream of colonists departed, listed in official records as transfers to the outer solar system. On newly established Novaterra, 32 light-years from Earth, Governor Aisha Khan supervised the planet's transformation from her biodome laboratory. The young biochemist had pioneered techniques that accelerated terraforming processes exponentially. "Atmospheric composition now matching Earth baseline parameters," reported her chief technician. "Native bacteria colonies adapting as predicted." Aisha smiled, watching through the dome as clouds formed in the previously barren sky. "Begin Phase 3. I want native grass variants planted across the northern continent within 60 days. What would have taken centuries using conventional methods would be accomplished in months. While Council species believed terraforming required generational timescales, humanity had once again found a shortcut. Back on Earth, a Council inspection team departed after their routine assessment. Their report noted decreased industrial activity in several sectors and concluded that humanity had accepted its limited status in galactic affairs. In her office beneath Geneva, Admiral Chen reviewed construction reports from 7 thriving colonies. A holographic display showed 3 additional systems marked for expansion. The door slid open as Marcus Rivera entered. "The Council representatives just cleared Earth orbit," he said. "Their report indicates they suspect nothing." Eleanor's eyes remained on the growing network of hidden worlds. "How many people could we evacuate from Earth now, if necessary?" "Perhaps 10% of the population," Marcus answered. "Why?" "Because sooner or later they'll discover what we're doing," Eleanor replied. "And when that happens, I want humanity to have options the Council never imagined." Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Endeavour, flagship of Earth's exploratory fleet. Beyond the viewscreen lay uncharted space, a region deliberately ignored in Council star charts. "Slip space transition complete," announced the navigator. "We've arrived at designated point Echo 7. This mission marked the furthest human expansion yet, a bold push to establish an outpost nearly 100 light-years from Earth. Initial scans showed a promising solar system with 2 potentially habitable worlds." "Admiral," the sensor officer called urgently, detecting energy discharges consistent with weapons fire, bearing 173 Mark IV. Eleanor's expression hardened. On screen, the view screen shifted to show a distant engagement, a sleek vessel with unusual biomechanical design under attack from 3 angular ships Eleanor immediately recognized as Draxis hunters. The Council's self-appointed enforcers were notorious for their aggression. "Those are Draxis warships," her first officer confirmed. "But I can't identify the other vessel. It's not in our database." "It's not a Council design," Eleanor said, watching the outmatched ship attempt evasive maneuvers. "And they're in trouble." Protocol dictated non-interference. Any engagement risked exposing humanity's presence beyond Sol. But Eleanor found herself remembering the Council arbiter's dismissive tone years ago. "Tactical, prepare all weapons," she ordered. "Helm, intercept course." Her officers exchanged glances but moved to comply. "Admiral," her first officer said quietly, "this could compromise everything we've built." Eleanor nodded. "Sometimes principles matter more than plans, Commander. We can't claim to be building something better than the Council if we watch others suffer when we could help." The Endeavor surged forward, emerging between the Draxis ships and their prey. The Draxis vessels immediately adjusted, targeting the unexpected human warship. "Open a channel," Eleanor commanded. The communications officer shook his head. "They're not responding, Admiral." "Then we'll speak in a language they understand. Target their weapon systems only." The Endeavor's advanced targeting systems, honed through years of secret development, disabled 2 Draxis ships with surgical precision. The third attempted to flee but found its engines compromised by a calculated strike. "The unknown vessel is hailing us," the communications officer reported with surprise. On screen, the view screen displayed the interior of the alien craft. Its crew had silvery scaled skin with iridescent patterns that shifted colors. Their eyes were large and expressive, set in elegantly elongated faces. "I am Seleth of the Novoli," the apparent leader spoke through a translator. "You have our profound gratitude for your intervention." Eleanor introduced herself with careful diplomacy, explaining little about human origins. Seleth's expression changed to one of astonishment. "Humans? From Earth? The Council's restricted species?" The bridge fell silent as Eleanor reassessed the situation. "You know of us. All rejected species share knowledge of each other," Seleth explained. "The Council denied the Novali membership centuries ago, calling us evolutionarily divergent. We assumed Earth remained isolated under their satellites." Eleanor allowed herself a small smile. "The Council's assumptions about humanity's capabilities have proven incomplete." Over the next hours, a remarkable exchange unfolded. The Novali revealed a network of non-Council species surviving in the galactic margins, some rejected outright, others ignored as unworthy of contact. "How many?" Eleanor asked, her mind racing with possibilities. "Dozens of spacefaring civilizations," Seleth replied, "all struggling individually against Council restrictions or Draxis harassment." Before departing, Eleanor extended an unprecedented invitation. "Perhaps it's time we discussed mutual interests, Ambassador Seleth. My government would welcome a formal delegation from the Novali." Seleth's scales shifted to a bright blue pattern. "You propose alliance, something the Council has denied us for generations." "Not just alliance," Eleanor replied, thinking of the growing network of human colonies. "Partnership. The Council built their power by keeping species divided. Perhaps we should explore what becomes possible when we stand together." As the Endeavor prepared to return home, Eleanor gazed at the star field with renewed purpose. The human experiment in independence had just become something much larger. "The Council inspection team has cleared the Jupiter checkpoint," reported the communications officer. "Their course suggests standard protocol. Luna Station within 6 hours." Eleanor nodded, her attention focused on the holographic display showing the unusual fleet approaching Earth. 3 Draxus cruisers accompanied by an Alferi diplomatic vessel, far from the typical quarterly inspection. "They know something," Marcus said quietly, standing beside her in the Geneva Command Center. "But not everything," Eleanor replied. "If they knew about the colonies, they'd have sent more than 3 warships." The standoff had been inevitable. After the Endeavor's encounter with the Draxus ships, Eleanor had accelerated diplomatic initiatives with the Novelli and 4 other non-council species. The resulting Terran Accord represented the first multi-species alliance formed outside council authority in over 2,000 years. "The broadcast preparations are complete," Marcus confirmed. "We can reach every communication node in council space simultaneously." Eleanor checked the time. "Then we proceed as planned. I won't let them dictate terms." When the council fleet established orbit, their transmission came as expected: formal, cold, and threatening. "United Earth Government," began the Alferi ambassador, his silver-blue skin luminescent against the dark background. "The Council has evidence of unauthorized human military activity beyond your solar system. This constitutes a severe violation of your status restrictions. You will provide full disclosure and submit to expanded monitoring measures." Eleanor sat at her desk, the flags of Earth and 5 allied species arranged behind her. Her formal uniform bore no military insignia. This was diplomacy, not war. "Ambassador, I'll address your concerns directly," she responded. "But first, let me confirm. This conversation is being recorded for the full council, correct?" The Alferi nodded with evident suspicion. Eleanor smiled slightly. "Excellent. Then I'll address all council members now." She pressed a concealed control, and across council space, on personal devices, public displays, and official channels, her broadcast overrode standard programming. "Citizens of council worlds, I am Eleanor Chen of Earth. For decades, the Galactic Council has presented itself as the benevolent guardian of interstellar civilization. Today, I present evidence of a different reality." The broadcast showed historical records obtained from Novelli archives and other sources, documents the Council had carefully suppressed, footage of Council ships enforcing isolation on developing worlds, statistical analyses demonstrating how the founding Council races controlled resource distribution across known space. The Council rejected Earth's membership not because of our supposed unpredictability, but because they feared our potential. This same pattern has repeated with dozens of species across millennia. Eleanor paused, letting the information sink in. "Today, I announce the formation of the Terran Accord, an alliance of Earth, the Novelli, the Realty, the Vex Collective, the Tholian Federation, and the Free Systems of Lyra. We reject the Council's artificial hierarchies and offer a different vision: cooperation based on mutual respect rather than evolutionary prejudice." She leaned forward, her expression resolute. "To the people of Council worlds, ask yourselves why information about other species has been restricted, why technological development follows strictly controlled patterns, why questions about the pre-Council era are discouraged." The Alferi ambassador's face contorted with fury, but transmission controls had been locked. "The Terran Accord welcomes diplomatic contact with all species. Our coordinates are being transmitted alongside this message. We seek neither conflict nor dominance, only the freedom for all sentient beings to determine their own future." The broadcast concluded, returning control to local systems. Within hours, protests erupted on Talari worlds. Mithrai trade guilds issued statements questioning Council policies. 3 additional non-Council species formally requested Accord membership. In the Geneva Command Center, Marcus studied incoming reports with growing concern. "Eleanor," he said urgently, The Draxis battle fleet at Outpost Sigma has broken formation. Long-range telemetry suggests they're setting course for Novaterra. Eleanor's expression hardened. Then they've decided to answer words with weapons. Alert Admiral Kazan. The First Fleet is to deploy immediately. The diplomatic phase had ended. War had begun. Commander Vorax of the Draxis battle fleet observed the seemingly undefended world through the bridge view screen. Novaterra appeared peaceful, a gem of blue oceans and green continents, much like Earth but younger in its development. Scans detect automated systems only, his sensor officer reported. No biological signatures on the surface or in orbit. Vorax clicked his mandibles in satisfaction. The humans had clearly evacuated when they detected his approaching fleet. This would be a simple demonstration of Council power. Destroy the colony's infrastructure and return to report success. Prepare planetary bombardment, he ordered. Target the northern continent first. That's where their primary terraforming stations are located. Commander, the tactical officer interrupted. Spatial distortions detected at coordinates Delta 9 through Epsilon 12. The space around Novaterra shimmered as dozens of unmanned platforms materialized simultaneously. Before Vorax could issue new orders, the platforms opened fire with precision targeting, not attempting to destroy his warships, but systematically disabling weapon systems and engines. Slip space signatures, shouted his first officer. Multiple vessels emerging. Admiral Kazan stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance as it completed transition into normal space. The human First Fleet emerged in perfect formation, accompanied by 12 Novali vessels whose biomechanical hulls pulsed with energy. All ships report successful transition, his tactical officer confirmed. The automated defense grid has engaged as planned, reducing Draxis' offensive capabilities by approximately 40%. Kazan nodded. Signal all vessels. Weapons free, but prioritize capture over destruction. We need their ships intact for intelligence. The battle unfolded across Novaterra's orbit like an intricate dance. The Draxis ships, though partially disabled, fought with the ferocity their species was known for. The human Novali fleet countered with coordinated tactics that demonstrated weeks of joint training. Deep beneath Novaterra's surface, Governor Aisha Khan monitored the battle from her command center. The facility had been built for precisely this contingency, a hardened bunker capable of controlling the planet's atmospheric systems remotely. Draxis landing craft have breached our outer defense grid, reported her security chief. 17 vessels on approach to terraforming Station Alpha. Aisha studied the tactical display. Their targeting suggests they don't understand our terraforming technology's defensive capabilities. Prepare atmospheric convergence protocol. The technicians worked quickly, reprogramming terraforming nodes across the northern continent. In his landing craft, Draxis Commander Mezek approached the primary terraforming station with 200 elite soldiers. Victory would be his, not Vorax. The first indication of trouble came when his navigation systems began malfunctioning. Then the craft started buffeting in sudden wind shears. Around them, the clear sky darkened as clouds formed with impossible speed. What is this? Mezek demanded as lightning flashed around them. The storm intensified into something beyond natural parameters. Precisely targeted lightning strikes disabled 3 escort craft. Hypercane force winds caught the remaining vessels, sending them tumbling from the sky. When Mezek's craft crash-landed 5 kilometers from their target, the local atmospheric readings matched no known planetary profile. In orbit, the battle concluded with the capture of 4 Draxis vessels, including Vorax's command ship. The remaining Draxis forces retreated into slip space, but the victory felt hollow as damage reports came in from across the fleet. Admiral Kazan supervised the boarding of Vorax's vessel personally. In the ship's navigation center, human technicians discovered data that chilled him to the core. Admiral, his intelligence officer said quietly, this wasn't an isolated attack. The Council has authorized a comprehensive military response against all Terran Accord worlds. According to these orders, the Nova Terra attack was just the first phase. Kazan's expression hardened. "Get me a secure channel to Earth immediately. Eleanor needs to see this." News of the Nova Terra victory spread through Council space like wildfire. The Draxis, long feared as unstoppable enforcers, had been decisively defeated by the supposedly primitive humans and their allies. On Talari homeworlds, academics organized public forums questioning centuries of Council doctrine. Mithrai trade guilds suspended contracts with Council security forces. Orosian information networks experienced unprecedented traffic as citizens sought unfiltered data about the Terran Accord. The Council chamber, once a place of ordered proceedings, descended into chaos as representatives argued openly. 3 members, the Talari, Mithrai, and Orosians, formally condemned the Draxis attack and established diplomatic relations with the Accord, creating the first significant fracture in the Council's 8,000-year history. But on Earth and its colonies, victory brought unexpected complications. Dr. Marcus Rivera studied the brain scan results with growing concern. The test subject, a colonist who had made frequent slip space journeys, showed unusual patterns of neural activity. "How many cases have we documented?" he asked his research team. 73 confirmed, replied Dr. Satomi. "All individuals who have experienced more than 20 slip space transitions. They show enhanced cognitive processing, improved memory formation, and in 17 cases, limited awareness of others' emotional states." Marcus frowned. "And the Novalli reports similar effects among their frequent travelers, though manifesting differently. Their biochemistry adapts faster than ours." The discovery created immediate tension across human settlements. Colonial populations, with their frequent slip space travel, began developing cognitive enhancements that Earth residents lacked. Some religious groups declared the changes unnatural. Others claimed them as evolutionary destiny. On Nova Terra, Governor Aisha Khan faced these divisions firsthand. The colony's strategic importance had made it a hub for slip space traffic, and nearly 40% of residents now showed some degree of enhancement. "We can't allow this to divide us," she told her advisory council. "Not with the council mobilizing against us." "It may be beyond our control," replied her chief medical officer. "The changes appear stable and heritable. We're witnessing speciation in real time." The situation intensified when a Mithrai scientist named Verith defected to Nova Terra. His arrival caused immediate security concerns until he revealed his purpose. He brought crucial intelligence directly from Council space. In Eleanor's secure office beneath Geneva, Verith projected a holographic image of a weapon unlike any human design. "The Alfiri call it the Nexus Key," he explained, his 4-fingered hands manipulating the display. "Created eons ago by a species called the Viridians as a defensive measure. The Alfiri captured it, used it against its creators, and have kept it hidden since." "What does it do?" Eleanor asked, studying the unusual configuration. "It collapses slip space corridors permanently," Verith replied. "If deployed against your network, it would strand every human colony instantly. No reinforcements, no supplies, no communication." Marcus paled. "That would be a death sentence for millions." "Why are you telling us this?" Eleanor asked directly. Verith's compound eyes shifted. "Because the council that once stood for knowledge and progress has become the very thing it claimed to prevent, a force for stagnation. Many of us have recognized this truth for centuries, but lacked the courage to act." "Do you know where this weapon is kept?" Marcus asked. "No," Verith admitted. "Its location remains the Alfiri's most closely guarded secret, but I know who might have access to that information, the archivist." "Who is the archivist?" Eleanor leaned forward. "Not who," Verith corrected. "What? The archivist is the designation for the keeper of the Council's most classified historical records. If anyone knows the weapon's location, they do." Eleanor exchanged glances with Marcus. "Then we need to find this archivist before the Alfirid deploy their weapon. Commander Jason Wu studied the holographic model of the Alferi capital city, its crystalline spires glittering even in simulation. As Eleanor's most trusted operative, he had undertaken dozens of high-risk missions, but infiltrating the heart of Council space represented an unprecedented challenge. "The central archives occupy this structure," explained Verith, highlighting a massive edifice near the city center. "Security includes biometric scanning, quantum encryption, and continuous surveillance. Impossible to breach," mused Sulith's daughter Naraya, her scaled skin shifting through patterns of deep thought. The young Novelli had volunteered immediately when asked to join the mission. Her species' natural abilities, including adaptive camouflage, made her invaluable. "Nothing's impossible," Wu replied, "just improbable. And we have one advantage: they don't expect anyone to try." The small team departed aboard the Shadow Sparrow, a specially modified vessel with experimental stealth systems. The journey required 3 weeks of careful navigation through Council space, avoiding patrol routes identified by Verith. Upon reaching the Alferi homeworld, they descended during a seasonal atmospheric storm that interfered with planetary sensors. Disguised as maintenance workers, they entered the lower levels of the archive complex through utility conduits. "The main repository is 6 levels up," Verith whispered, his compound eyes constantly scanning for threats. "The archivist's chambers should be adjacent." They encountered their first real obstacle at a security checkpoint, a scanner that would instantly detect their false identities. Naraya stepped forward, her skin shifting to match the distinct patterns of Alferi dermal signatures, while she manipulated her body temperature to fool the thermal sensors. "Maintenance authorization confirmed," the automated system announced, allowing them passage. The archives themselves proved breathtaking. A vast chamber where data crystals containing millions of years of galactic history floated in precisely controlled gravitational fields. At its center stood a figure Wu initially mistook for a statue until it moved. The archivist was an Orosian, a species known for their analytical capabilities. 6 eyes blinked in alternating patterns across a broad, flat face. When the team approached, these eyes focused on them with immediate comprehension. "You do not belong here," the archivist stated simply. "You are the human-led infiltration team the security protocols warned about." Wu tensed, reaching for his concealed weapon, but the archivist raised a 6-fingered hand. "I did not activate the alarms," the being continued. "I have questions first." Naraya stepped forward. "We seek information about the Nexus Key." The archivist's eyes blinked rapidly. "The Alferi weapon. You wish to prevent its use against your slipped space network." "Yes," Wu confirmed. "Will you help us?" "Why should I betray my position?" The archivist studied them intently. "Because the Council has betrayed its principles," Verith replied. "You preserve knowledge. They suppress it." This statement caused a visible reaction in the archivist. "I am Kelvin. For 3,000 years, I have maintained these records, including those the Council forbids access to." He moved toward a private terminal. "The weapon you seek orbits a neutron star in the Cygnus Void, disguised as an abandoned research station." Security alarms suddenly blared throughout the complex. "We've been discovered," Wu warned, readying his team for escape. Kelvin's 6 eyes blinked in a complex pattern. Perhaps this is fortuitous timing. His fingers moved across controls with surprising speed. The Council suppresses truth. An archivist preserves it. Throughout Council space, secure data channels suddenly opened. Historical records, millions of them, began flowing unfiltered to every connected system. "What are you doing?" Naraya asked in astonishment. "Creating balance," Kelvin replied calmly. "For millennia, the Alferi have manipulated galactic development, eliminated rival species, and rewritten history. The weapon's location is merely one truth among thousands now being released." As security forces converged on the archives, Wu's team escaped through maintenance tunnels. Behind them, revelation after revelation cascaded across the galaxy, toppling certainties and igniting questions that had been suppressed for generations. The Alferi High Command gathered in their sacred chamber, ancient faces grave as reports flooded in from across council space. Protests had erupted on dozens of worlds. 6 council members had already announced their withdrawal. The carefully maintained order of millennia was collapsing around them. "The Archivist's betrayal leaves us no choice," declared Elder Soravan, her silver-blue skin dulled with age. "Activate the Nexus key." Scientists and military officers exchanged concerned glances. "The weapon has not been tested in over 4,000 years, warned Chief Scientist Malax. "Simulations suggest potential instability in the current galactic energy matrix." "I did not request your opinion," Soravan replied coldly. "I issued a command." The Alferi battle fleet surrounded the disguised station orbiting a neutron star in the Cygnus void. Military engineers worked frantically to activate systems dormant for millennia. "Energy buildup commencing," reported the weapon master. Initial targeting locked on primary human slip space corridors. Deep within the ancient machinery, power levels rose beyond predicted parameters. Warning indicators flashed across control panels, but the Alferi commander dismissed them. "Continue the sequence." The weapon fired, a pulse of energy unlike anything seen in the modern era. It struck the nearest slip space corridor, collapsing it instantly. But the energy didn't dissipate as expected. Instead, it cascaded through subspace, creating a chain reaction that rebounded toward the station itself. The resulting explosion destroyed not just the ancient weapon, but severely damaged the Alferi fleet. The few surviving ships limped home to find their political authority shattered. With 12 members formally withdrawing, the once mighty Galactic Council dissolved after nearly 8,000 years. In its place, a power vacuum threatened to unleash chaos across known space. Eleanor stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Congress Hall on Nova Terra. Through the transparent dome, twin moons illuminated the valley below where representatives from 43 species gathered for the inaugural Galactic Congress. "It's quite a view," Marcus said, joining her. "Hard to believe this was a barren world just a decade ago." Eleanor nodded. "Even harder to believe we're hosting a galactic government." The Congress convened the following morning. Eleanor took the central podium, surveying the assembled delegates, some humanoid, others utterly alien in form, all equal in voice. 10 years ago, Earth was deemed unworthy of participation in galactic affairs, she began. "Today, we gather not to create a new empire, but a new beginning. The principles of this Congress are simple: technological exchange without suppression, cultural autonomy without isolation, and mutual defense without domination." The former council hardliners, the Alferi, Draxus, and 3 allied species, had refused to join, instead forming a separatist alliance that promised continued challenges. But they now faced a united front rather than isolated victims. Dr. Rivera and Governor Khan presented their joint research on slip space physiological effects. The evidence suggests we're not witnessing random mutations, but convergent evolution across multiple species, Khan explained. "Rather than fear these changes, we propose establishing ethical frameworks to study and embrace them." As the session concluded, Eleanor remained in the empty chamber, watching stars emerge above the dome. Commander Wu approached with a data tablet. "The Novali delegation has proposed joint colony projects in the Arcturus sector," he reported, "and 17 species have submitted technology-sharing initiatives." Eleanor smiled. 10 years ago, the Council showed us what they feared most: a humanity unbound by their restrictions. They never imagined we'd build something better than their empire. "What did we build instead?" Wu asked. Eleanor gestured toward the chamber, where representatives of dozens of civilizations had gathered in peaceful cooperation. "A community. And given the choice between ruling an empire or building a community, I believe we chose correctly." Outside, the twin moons of Nova Terra illuminated a world that had once been barren, now transformed into a symbol of possibility for an entire galaxy.